We're gonna play a game. It's called the bailout game or a bailout
Okay,
game
I like
because I
it.
don't know how many bailout games there are. Um, so right now you've effectively got economic stimulus packages being tossed around. We're close to passing one. And there's a lot of lobbyists. There's a lot of stories in the New York Times about lobbyists all vying for some piece of that action. Like airlines, we know have asked, for a bailout, and they were seeking like 50-ish billion dollars for a bailout. And I read a story that their lobbyists for private airlines, like the jets that CEOs take, trying to get in on that action, basically trying to say, yeah, we should get some too. But it begs the question, who should get the money? So the game we got here, I just picked five companies that effectively, encapsulate the industries that are asking for bailouts. And the game is, Damien's going to pick which company should
Yeah.
get a bailout first to represent their industry.
Ooh, I
And
love the power.
and
Yeah.
then I am going to show using, if you listen to the show regularly, I've gone over a lot of stakeholder capitalism metrics. And I'm going to show the metrics, how they pay out their employees, how they pay out their customers, like the value they give to their customers, how much they pay in taxes to governments, the value that investors get from them through dividends and buybacks and interest on debt, and the value they sort of return to the broader system, like communities through and natural capital and things like that, basically by, funding maybe renewable energy or funding sanitation and healthcare and stuff like that. So, Damien, here are the
Yeah, another
companies.
reason. Yeah, yeah, another compelling reason to become a patron of our show. Listen to what Matt's saying. Come on, listen. That's amazing.
There's
All right,
literally
yeah, go ahead.
nowhere else you can get these metrics. I developed them
That's
when
true.
I was back at MSCI, and there are other academics who have been working on variations of these for a long time. But I'm pulling these off of balance sheets, and this is sort of a
Yeah.
receipt. How do these companies pay out their employees per share? Now you can, because you're an investor, you're thinking about, when I buy a share, what's my stakeholder receipt? So here are the companies for you. Okay,
All
you
right.
ready
Do we
for
have any
this?
music for the bailout game? Any music?
You know what? I think I do have
Sorry,
some
sorry to put you on the spot.
semi-appropriate music anyway.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, that's fine. That's good. I like it.
All right, here's your bailout game. Now the music will die in a second, but here are the companies. I want you to pick: Boeing, our favorite;
Mm-hmm.
Carnival Cruise Lines. Should the cruise lines get a piece of this action? American Airlines, representing all
Of
the
course, yeah.
airlines; Marriott
Huh?
hotels. They've
Ooh.
been discussed in the past. They're not as much action right now. And then HCA, which is the Hospital Corporation of America, they are a publicly traded hospitals. They got 49,000 hospital beds, and
Can you
we're talking
imagine
a
that?
lot about
I can't even imagine.
bailing out hospitals and doctors. So,
Okay. All right.
so those are your companies: Boeing, Carnival, American Air, Marriott, and HCA.
So
Damien, who do
you
you
want me to
bail
pick right
out
now?
first?
Um,
I want
God,
silence for this. I want to hear your thinking.
okay. Boeing. Sorry, um, your mismanagement has disappointed me, and also I put Boeing in with American Airlines in the sense that I need those industries to at least be halved. Believe in the climate crisis, and I want to move forward from all these airplanes. So I'm sorry, I have to pass on Boeing and American Airlines. Carnival. I mean, come on, don't even ask me. That's a silly question. I mean, I'm already imagining what we can use those ships for, like retirement homes, or I don't know. I mean, but no,
Arcs.
stop. Yeah, anything. How about just somewhere to hold like jelly beans? It doesn't matter. So, but I don't want to talk about Carnival. Marriott. I mean, look, I live in Portland, Maine. Like our existence relies solely upon restaurants and hotels, and I think of the labor at these places, and so it's hard for me this one because that's in my top, and of course the Hospital Corporation of America is in my those are my top two. But I got to tell you, and I know you're not going to like this, but this is going to surprise you, but I would like to private. I would like to. I don't think hospitals and everything. I think they should be taken over by the government anyway.
Ew.
I don't think they should be corporations.
Yikes.
I, yeah, so I'm gonna go with Marriott.
Oh, Marriott. Oh,
Yeah, I don't think hospitals should be for profit organizations. All right, I said it here.
all right.
Healthcare. I don't think that's a good way to be making money off.
So first of all, I like that you just chose this purely philosophically. There was no.
So, like, what else do I offer? I don't offer anything else.
So there's nothing behind this. I'm going to tell you though, if you get your stakeholder receipt, you're an investor. You buy a share of each of these companies. You want to know what's my stakeholder payout to each of these companies by our estimate, by the free float media estimation. You would be totally wrong. Totally
Why am I
wrong.
Why?
All right.
Tell me why.
So I know you can't see this right now because you're not watching it, but
Oh, actually, yeah. Actually, I can see it.
all right, you can see it because you're looking at the slides. So the number one company by stakeholder receipt is actually Boeing.
So what does that mean?
So what that means is, first of all, they have the largest employee network, and I'm not even including the supply chain. I'm just doing the company. Wow, the music's mildly distracting to my brain right now. But they actually pay out a significant portion of their revenue to the employees. But the vast bulk of what their returns are go to customers, and the way we think about payback to customers is what is the value add to customers? How much is a customer willing to pay for what Boeing does versus what a competitor does? And the customers are there. They make planes that fly people.
Who are the customers?
So the customers
like
are
American
governments.
Airlines?
They about a third of what they make actually from governments. So the governments are customers of theirs, making
like
parts to like blow shit up.
Such?
Yeah, military jets.
Yes, yeah, I'm out. Yeah,
so you're philosophically out on that. That's
I
fine.
am.
I don't begrudge your philosophy.
No, it's all right.
You can be wrong.
I'm the only one playing the game, so it's fine.
They also paid out a lot to investors, more than anybody else. Now, this might be a part, like, this is where I philosophically might actually overlap with you, because if you're taking out a massive sums of debt in order to pay investors dividends and buybacks, which they did, despite having negative EBIT being earnings before income tax, let me tell you, if you're a house and you make negative money in the year and then take money,
like
then you call up a bank and you borrow some money from that bank in order to pay your neighbor so that they like you more. That seems like just a bad general idea, and that's exactly what Boeing did.
Yeah, I'll tell my wife, yeah.
But on a pure accounting metric standpoint, Boeing actually has the biggest stakeholder payout, most of which goes to customers. The number two was your number two.
Yeah.
And I don't care that you want to privatize the industry. The fact is, hospitals offer a tremendous amount of social benefit, even if they are for-profit operating.
And look, if it wasn't for my philosophical problems there, they definitely would be number one for a bailout. But I'm hoping that I took the game a little too far. Maybe I overthought the game as usual.
Yeah. But for hospitals themselves, they are second overall to employees, despite actually having less employees. Their employee payout is fairly large. But most of the bulk of their return actually comes from, if you consider what a hospital does, which is effectively offer space and equipment for people to fix other people, a necessary human need, then the vast bulk of their return comes from sort of that basic human need function that they offer. And so number-wise, if you're listening to this on a podcast and not watching this, number-wise, Boeing per share return to their sort of stakeholder dividend is $5.25 per share. So you can do the math on whatever the current share price is for yield. That's another way to think of this. I'm not going to go that deep. I'm just doing a per share, payout.
Okay.
HCA, the hospital, was $3.33, and that was assuming that 60% of their revenue actually comes from inpatient activity, which is sort of the more critical, generally more critical care stuff, not outpatient services, and that's a big return. Third in line was Marriott, so at $2.47 a share. So you're not totally wrong, and most of that actually goes to their employees. And or the bulk of it
Who's
goes
a
to
loser in the
customers.
category?
The big loser is Carnival. There is absolutely at 67 cents a share. There is no reason to bail out. I don't care how many employees they have. I mean, I do. Like, it sounds cold and harsh, but there's Carnival is by far your big loser here. And and then American Airlines actually is $1.85 a share. So there you go. That's what we have to say.